All right, I think we're live, Tony.
Hey yo, what the deal, my people? You know who it is, the Don Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the strings. And I'm joined here with Bar to Porto from BarTube on a special channel that she has making great Game of Thrones video. And a lot of times I try to think of openings and stuff and things to say, but I really just want to say thank you to anyone who has took the time to watch this, sit down, and you could be anywhere you want. And the fact that you are here with me and Bar today, we really do appreciate it, and especially the people who do subscribe and thumbs up the video. So thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, thank you so much for everybody who is taking their time out of their Saturday to watch this, and happy holiday if you're celebrating. A quick spoiler warning, if you haven't read the books, any of the excerpts, everything that has been published about A Song of Ice and Fire, we're going to talk about it. And yeah, we can get started.
All right, so I'm going to be taking the questions from the list that was selected, and the people who have the most pluses on them, that's how I'll be answering them all the way down. I have taken out some questions that were duplicates, so sorry if that was the reason why you don't see your question. But I will start with the first question, and it's got 7 pluses, and this is from
Fazil Razak.
Fazil Rizak, and he says, now that Jamie has been captured by Doran, is it Doran or Duran? I don't know. What do you
I
think
call
will
him
happen?
Doran.
You call him Doran?
Yeah.
All right, so Doran.
You can call him whatever you'd like, doesn't matter.
People are picky about names in this series. What do you think will happen to him this season and next? Bar?
Well, my speculation is that the next we're gonna see him, he's gonna have a sit down with Trystane and tell him he's sending him to Daenerys. And that's what I think would happen. And maybe not next time, because the Sand Snakes need to be locked up for a little while, and then they need to be let out and like in on what's going on. They need to be in on the plan from Duran. But I think that's where it's going with Trystane. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, well, Jamie, I think that obviously he's captured. If I think it's all it can go to is sit down. I don't think anything terrible is going to happen to him while he's down there. I don't think he's going to get injured in any way. I think eventually he's going to have to get let go and go back to King's Landing. And as for next season for him, I really, in all honesty, I am so down on Dorne. I really don't even like to talk about it. This is just, I don't care what they do with it. I really don't think that there's any redeeming qualities they can do to Dorne. And that's the way I feel about it. I think it was just poorly shown, and I wish they never shown it. I would have rather seen the Ironborn.
It's true. I mean, I love the Dornish, and Martell's my favorite house, and I was so excited to see it, and it's just such a disappointment. And I mean, I didn't think they could do so badly. If somebody would have asked me, would you have rather seen it than not see it, I would have said yes, but now I would rather delete that from my memory.
Hey, all right. Next question up. Are you
Oh,
gonna read
do
that?
you want me to answer? Can you just highlight which one?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it is.
Okay, there is a bit of a lag. Okay, so Ray Sullivan asked, do you guys think Bronn got poisoned when he got cut? I mean, yeah, I mean, the frame kind of focused on that during the fight, so absolutely. And then there is the song of the Dornishman's wife, so he might have some more stuff to do in Dawn. And then I'm afraid that he's gonna die as well, just because that's how the song ends. Tony?
Unfortunately, the fact that they just had to show it like that, it just makes you think. And this is the Sand Snake that's known to poison people too. So, oh, it's terrible. If he dies like a chump like that, and they really make him go out like, like a slow death, like that's terrible. For such a great character in this show, he deserves better. At least a blaze of glory. He deserves to go out in a fight, not like that by some little girl.
Right.
That's right. So, we read a question from Schopenhauer already, right? So I'm going to go to this person right here. And this is from Scott McCarroll, and he says, "Hi guys, as Jorah has grayscale now, I have heard talk as him spreading it in a chemical warfare style. I think he will be treated for it. If Stannis can get the best in land for Shireen, I am sure that Queen Dany's can find Jorah, but he may lose his arm. What do you think?"
You want me to answer?
Sure.
Okay, and by the way, if you could just highlight it a bit sooner, because there is like a 20-second gap until it shows up for me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You know, the thing is with grayscale, they tell you you can take off the arm. It would be giving you better odds, but then it might not help at all. But I think where it's going right now is to get captured by Yezin and end up in the fighting pit with both his arms. But I definitely think he might, just because he's walking through Essos and it's such a distance to Meereen, I think it might replace the grayscale. The pale mirror, sorry. Tony?
Yeah, I think that eventually it has to come back to bite him because I just don't see why would they would give it to him if he wasn't going to infect other people with it. As for him getting cured with it, I have seen comments of people saying that they think that he could take the Victorian Greyjoy place and his hand could be burnt, and maybe that would be by some type of red magic person. That's the only way I could see it actually working, if it is going to work. I always thought that he would eventually end up taking over the Night's Watch, but with this grayscale, leads me to think that may not be the case.
I was also thinking that maybe the Red Priestess will take the place of Mokaro. Yeah. Tony, do you want to take the next one?
All right. This is from Jessica Smith, and she says, Cersei said again that Tommen was the one to arm the faith. Since they've aged him up, Cersei as regent means nothing. Technically, she doesn't have any right to arm the faith. Couldn't Tommen say that he had nothing to do with it and disarm them again? Well, without a doubt, Cersei has no power whatsoever. Tommen could have stood up right then and said, kill them all, seize them. He could say, seize Cersei right then, and they will seize him. He is the king. He is the absolute power, and he just does not play it like that.
Okay. Hi, Jess. Jess has a blog, by the way. You can go to her Google Plus and get to her blog. She has a really nice one. I think that Tommen could have had all the force, all the power to do whatever he wanted, but I think he doesn't know it, and I think what he does know that he can do, he chooses not to because he doesn't want too much violence. And I kind of commend him for that, because he's a real contrast to what Joffrey would have done in that situation. But I think there is a medium between being a psycho and being a pushover, and he hasn't found it yet. Okay, next question is from Lem Productions. If Melisandre goes south with Stannis, who's going to resurrect Jon Snow? Also, is this more proof that Stannis wrote the Pink Letter and that he also wins the Battle of Ice? Well, first of all, it might change on the show. We really don't know. We can speculate how it ends and that he wins, but we don't know, and everything is leading up to Stannis is doing too well right now, and they're going to break him somehow. And Melisandre going south with Stannis, she could go back to the wall. It's not a problem, I think, for the future. Tony?
Yeah, I think that Melisandre will make her way back to the wall. That's how Jon's going to get resurrected. It's like I've said it from the beginning, and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't think they're going to end the season with Jon Snow being dead. I just don't see why they would do it. And I don't think that it's possible for people who have not read the books to find out that he does not come back before next season. And I think they know that. So for that reason, I think they have to bring him back this season. So whether they kill him in episode 9, he's coming back in 10. If it goes down in 10, they're going to do it all in 10. And they do things very quickly, as you can see with the Arya chapter. As for Stannis writing the pink letter, I think, yes, it's proof that he wrote the pink letter. If they portray that on the show, I don't know if they're going to go that route. But in the books, I do believe Stannis will win the Battle of Ice, without a doubt. Whether he wins it right now in the show, I do not know if they're going to go that route with it. All right. Now, the next question is from Chopin Hoyer, and he says, do you think Littlefinger intended to have Sansa lose her virginity for his own reasons at all? Perhaps he may only be able to do certain things, or could it be he just wanted rather to have a woman than a girl? Me personally on this one, no. I don't think that Littlefinger had any intention of her being raped at all, whatsoever. So, no, not at all. What do you think, Bob?
I think yes, just because they had that talk, and then she said, next time you see me, I reckon I'll be a woman wed. It was just our temporary blindness that we couldn't see it coming, but there was every sign that it's coming. And yes, I think he knew, and yes, I think Sansa knew, and I think there is a piece of the puzzle that we're not seeing. Like, why would she do that? Why are they doing that? What is the revenge plan for Sansa? I'm really interested in the next episode, more than I've been, I think, all series. Tony, do you want me to take the next one? Can you just highlight?
Yes, highlighted. Yeah, real quick, I misread it. Yes, I do believe that they did think that she would lose her virginity, but I don't think it was for Littlefinger's own purposes, that he didn't want to be the one to break her in, like he just wanted a woman, like he wanted, by the time he got to her, he wanted her to know what she was doing. I don't believe it was for that, but I do believe that he knew that she was going to lose her virginity.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, next one is from Ives Konings. Do you think the faith works alone, or do you think Littlefinger is the mastermind behind it? After all, the testifier against Loras is gay and works for Littlefinger. Okay, I think that's what the talk between Cersei and Littlefinger was, because they were sending each other messages. So I think that was like his confirmation, like, yes, you can go and raid my brothels and my institutions, and I will have Oliver testify against Loras for you. That's what I think it was. He needs to show Cersei he's on her side enough to betray her behind her back. Tony?
Do I think that Littlefinger it's working, the faith is working for him? No, I don't think the faith is working for Littlefinger. I think that the faith is working for their own purposes. I think that the only thing between Cersei and everything that is going back and forth was just to get the guy over there to testify against Loras, which that guy is, I don't know why he's so happy to do that, but it is what it is. He may meet the fate of the guy, of the bard singer in The Vale in the end. He may get that role.
Yeah, they seem to make hosts testify against people on the show more than they do.
And they take their word too. Like, these guys' words are just, they take it over kings and queens.
Yeah.
So the next question.
And I don't know who pointed this out. Sorry, I don't know who pointed this out, but there is a logical flaw in this because Oliver was supposedly his choir. So seeing him naked is no biggie.
Yes, I did hear someone say something like that. Like, highborn people are always naked. People dress them all the time. Yeah. So people would know that what they look like naked. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, so that's why Sansa was good to like take off her clothes and go have somebody bathe her that she doesn't really know, because that's normal for them.
Yeah, they're just used to that stuff. So that's a poor, poor thing to keep hold him there. But they're holding him there. That's what it is. The next question is from Arturo Cordendo.
Ovando?
Oh, you sound better out of your mouth than mine. I'll just say Arturo. All right. So it says, "Hey Tony, what do you think Varys is up to now? You think he's gonna have the prologue episode later on? And if you do you think they will be someone like Orlana Tyrell, or do you think it will still be Sir Kevin?" I do believe they will have the end of it all, without a doubt. I think it will be Kevin that gets it, without a doubt. That's what I've said from the beginning of the season, and I'm sticking to that story. I think you'll see Varys back just for that, most likely. Bar?
Yeah, 100% agreed. Kevin and Maester Pycelle should be taken down. And, you know, everything in the beginning of the series is like the Starks are not doing so well. And, like, in the end, it's again the Starks are not doing so well with what's going to be with Jon. So they need something. They need something for revenge for the Starks this series. And I think that's the other half. I hope, at least. Okay, next question is from Carlos Allegra Ross. Who is the blonde guy from Littlefinger's Broth? Why is the blonde guy so happy admitting that he and Loras are gay? He might get sentenced to death too. Yes, but maybe, you know, just with real life, if you give information about somebody, you will get a lesser sentence, if that makes sense. Just to strike a deal with the prosecutors, I guess. Tony?
Yeah, I think it's most likely, possibly, it's going to backfire on that guy too. As I said, he could get the role of the guy, the bard got in the Vale, and get beat up like that. He may wind up like that with his eyeball knocked out in the Black's dungeon himself. I think he has to die. Anyone who testifies, they got to tie up loose ends. So I think it's not going to end well for him too. He's done. So next question is from Halfman Targ. I guess that's Tyrion, right? And it says, Cersei made the High Sparrow the High Septon, right? So technically, all these trials are legal. And I don't think Tommen would sound an attack on the Pope of the world, right? No, Cersei didn't make these people right now in the show. She keeps saying that her son did it. She keeps passing the blame over to him, that she's not the one who did it, that she had him sign everything. So, I don't know why Tommen wouldn't chop down these fake. He should take out the militant. If you ask me, if he was smart, that would be the first thing he does. Bar?
I think that if he was really smart, he wouldn't stamp things out without reading them first and let his mom make all the decisions for him in the first place. He would be taking charge and doing stuff, making decisions on his own. I think that ship has sailed for him. Sorry, you just deleted the question, Tony. What was the question?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to take the next one from Prune. Will Peter be the ruler of the Ashes? I'm going to say possibly. I don't think it's true. I think that statement might be true for the show, but not necessarily from the books. And I also recommend Game of Thrones Academy. They have a video about why you should root for Littlefinger, and that's a really good video. Tony?
They're referring to, like, is he the person in the prophecy that when Danny goes through that dying? No, I don't think that's who they're referring to whatsoever.
I think the question is does he actually want to rule no matter what it is, even if it's ashes? And I don't think so. I think he wants to be in the background. I don't think he wants to be in the forefront.
I agree. I don't see, him wanting to sit the Iron Throne at all. I think he knows that there's too much danger there. I think he'd rather have a figurehead up there, to, a lightning rod to take the shots for him, and him just be the man that can always escape out. I think that's what he wants to do. So since I erased the other half-man Targ's last question, I'm going to ask, we're going to do this one for half-man Targ, other question I answered. And it says, which fight was better, Jamie Bronn versus the Sand Snakes, or the Sand Snakes versus the fake accent? Well, I'm going to let Bar, since I've already given a little opinion of mine on Dawn, I'm going to let Bar answer this first.
Yeah, just because Jamie and Bronn was there, it made it better. So I'm going to say, the Sand Snakes versus the fake accent loses. Tony?
Yeah, I just got to say it was all just terrible. So I really have no comment about anything going on there in Dawn. It was just terrible.
All right, Earthling Crusader. Considering that Bran isn't in the season, do you think that he was somehow able to see the wedding via the Godswood? Absolutely. I actually mentioned it in my book to show comparison. 100% I think he has seen it. I think that's the whole point of being in front of a werewood, to let the old gods see. Tony?
Yes, I think 100% that he did see it, as Bar said, and I referred to in my video that something about the wedding scene, and what I meant when I referred to it and I didn't elaborate on was that if you look at R plus L equals J and them being married, look at the ceremony in front of the werewood tree. All you need is 2 people and 1 witness in the werewood tree. So if people think they could not have been married, they could have been married just like that, on the Isle of Faces, that quickly.
Yeah, that's why I think Bran is so important. He can see everything, anytime. Okay, what's the next one, Tony?
All right, now let me bring this next question up for you. And the next question is from Wenwood, and he says, do you, I am so sorry, I just seen the squirrel on, I don't know why.
I know, I automatically thought it was the he, but it's a she.
All right, well, I'm sorry about that. I did that before the 1998 champions too. Do you think Tommen is going to ask Uncle Keevan for help getting Marjorie released? No, I don't think so. I mean, it would make sense, and because he has to get back into the fold somehow. But I think it's going to be more when Cersei's downfall comes, then he'll come back and start righting the ship. I think what will happen is that Mace Tyrell will speed back from the Iron Bank, and I think it's quite possible you may see a scene like Cersei comes back and says, "Did you get the loan?" And then Mace Tyrell's like, "Yes, they did give us the loan. They gave the loan to House Tyrell, not the throne." And then something like that would go. But he's going to have to race back once he hears his daughter and son is locked up right from the Iron Bank. I think that's how we get the whole Mercy situation.
I think it's actually a really good prediction. I think it is a possibility because Kevin is going to want to stabilize things as soon as Cersei is locked up. So, yeah, possible. What's the next one? Patrick Graham. Is Bailey sending everyone to war? He seems to be motivating Cersei to send troops, committing to the Vale, and keeping his alliance with the Tyrells. Maybe wedding Sansa to the Boltons was a ploy to get the North Lords behind Big Stannis. It's a big question. I think that he wants to take down the Boltons, and just because he's waiting for Stannis, there must be a connection. Like, first of all, how does he know that Stannis is coming? He's not supposed to know about these things. And second, why would he let Sansa be in the midst of a war when he knows what's gonna come? So I really have no idea what's going on there. Tony?
It's Baylor sending everybody to war. It would seem like he is definitely trying to start some chaos. Well, I think basically he's hedging his bets. He knows Stannis is going to march, so he has to get a winner there. So he set up that whoever wins that situation, he can go with that winner right there. So now he has to break up the Tyrell alliance with Cersei because it's too strong. So he's doing that by providing them beef with Loras. So he's trying to break them up right there. But either or, whoever wins out of there, he still comes out on top. So I think he's just playing both sides against each other, and he's going to try to come in and mop up the slot with the only army that will still fully be intact. All right, so the next question is from Sam Young, and he asks, do you think Sansa and Ramsay's wedding beneath the weirwood tree, on how simple it is, reinforce the idea that Lyanna and Rhaegar married beneath the weirwood, which would make Jon a legitimate child? Well, I just answered that question myself, so I will let Bar answer that question. She can elaborate.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. I do believe they were married beneath the weirwood, and I think that's how we're going to get the reveal through Bran. And I think that if Jon is resurrected on the next book, that's around the time that it should happen, that we'll learn that and why it's important. Oh, Charlie in Westeros. Hi, Charlie. He says, hey, Bar and Tony, finally got the chance to stop by your Q&A. Do either of you think there is a chance Baelish or Olenna will be killed off this season? I have a hunch we might get a surprise killing between one of them. It's a good question. I don't think Littlefinger could be killed at this point, but I think that Olenna is expendable. Maybe. Tony?
Oh, I think that's so many killings. Ew. Olenna is expendable though, but how would she die? Only way she would die would be in place of Keevan. I would see like that other person you just asked. That's the only way I could see her being killed. I don't know if they're really into killing old women like that. I don't know how many old women have been killed on the show. They killed a lot of other people, but I don't know about a lot of old women like that. So, as for Littlefinger, he's too important. I think that people like Littlefinger too much. I think no matter what happens in the books, I think he makes it to the final season of the show before they take care of him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And what up, Charlie? And I missed out, real quick, I missed out on a couple of small council meetings the last couple of due to technical difficulties, but I hope to be back this week. Ding. All right. So the next question is from, it looks like the most interesting person in the world. Canelo John. What? How are you?
Carnato?
Johnson. I know Johnson. I'm black. I can say that. All right. How do you think they will account for Victoria and Euron Greyjoy in the battle at Marine if they don't include them in the show, or will they just be there next season? I don't know if you're going to get a battle from the Marine. I don't know if they're even going to show that. And I don't think that they need to incorporate that if they do have the battle. I think, but the fact that Barristan is dead, and he was leading the charge, unless they move that over to Jorah, I don't know if you get that battle. Bar?
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. They might move it to Jorah, but I think that whole battle, they do battles really small. Usually they take a big battle and they make it really small. So they might do that, but I reckon they're just going to pass over that and focus on Daenerys in the Dothraki Sea and meeting up with the new Khalasar, maybe, next series. All right, what is the next one? This one is from John Miller. As the titles are coming 1 week early, will we see next week that Sansa is unbent and Theon is unbroken? Not sure who is unbowed. Will Sansa re-dye the hair as the transformation? I don't think she's gonna dye her hair again. But yeah, I think we will learn a little bit more about why Sansa is putting up with this. But yeah, we'll see. It's really a mystery to me. Tony?
I don't I don't think she's gonna dye the hair back. Makes no sense to do that. I just don't know what they're trying to do with Sansa. Me personally, I don't see what you know. If you take the movie Rocky, right, real quick, and you see how Rocky, he's a guy who starts off and he's a, not a loser, but a decent fighter, but he finds the love of a woman, and at the end, he fights for the love of the woman, and someone believes in him, and he wins. Sansa hasn't done anything but be a victim since the beginning of the show, and then when you just started seeing her maybe pick herself up by her bootstraps, they just chopped her down so violently and so hard that I just don't know why do that? It just, to me, it just didn't make any sense. But
Well, I'm thinking maybe they didn't. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
no, please finish yours.
No, I was just thinking maybe they didn't. Maybe it was a choice. I'm not saying that she wanted to be like brutalized like that, but the choice to marry Ramsay and avenge her family is a choice. And I don't understand why she made that choice. And we have to understand that we might not see it yet, but I don't think she's just victimized 100% on the show. I think we just don't see it clearly yet.
When the clip I seen from next week's show, and they show the snow falling on her, she looks broken.
Yeah.
You know, she looks destroyed. So I just don't, the way Littlefinger explained to what he has to do, what she has to do to wrap him around her finger, that's not what they're doing for her. And that's what I thought they would show this season, how she can manipulate this mean guy, how she can get him around his finger. I think it was a choice for her to get married, but I think, it should have been like he ripped her clothes off and she should have turned it on to him and then ripped his clothes off and pushed him against the wall and then went down on him or something like that and asserted herself like that. I think it should have been something like that and then get him all strung out like Danny got Drogo strung out by flipping him on his back. I thought they were going to do something like that with her, and that's not what we have gotten so far.
Yeah, but it's only the first time. It might come in later, and obviously for Danny, she had a while where it was unpleasant until it got to be something different. So she did say, I still have friends in Winterfell, so she's plotting something. I just don't see it. But yeah, I would have loved to see it a bit more like the Winds of Winter excerpt, where she's a good manipulator. But obviously, Ramsay is a tougher one to manipulate than Harry. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Do I read this one or you?
I don't remember who that is.
All right,
you can read it.
All right, I'll read. This is from Joe Robert, and I can say that name easily. He wants to know, wanted to ask this last week, and now it may be too late. Will we see the Hooded Man in Winterfell? Is it possible that the books, the Hooded Man is Theon? And as a side note, will we see snow in King's Landing this season? Thank you, guys. Bar?
I'm going to start with snow in King's Landing because that's the scene with Pycelle and Kevin in that room where it's all snowing. I think that's the first time where it's really heavily snowing. So if we'll get there, we might see some snow in King's Landing. The Hooded Man in Winterfell, I don't know if they're going to do it at all. They might just skip it. Tony?
So the Hooded Man in Winterfell, I wish they would do it. I wish they could, but as for doing it, I don't know. Do I think it makes Theon is the Hooded Man in Winterfell in the books? Nope, I do not think Theon is the Hooded Man in Winterfell in the books. And there will definitely be snow in King's Landing, without a doubt, because I do think that they would definitely finish on the epilogue chapter with Varys. So without a doubt there.
Yeah. And Cersei did mention snow, and that's very, very rare. Indeed. Okay, next one is from Carly Kenny. Since we saw Sansa and Ramsay get married in front of the weirwood tree, do you think it means we'll get to see Bran react to this next season? Okay, it's kind of, we got the question, will he see it? No, will he react to it? What would he do, and could he even do something about it? I don't think he could do something about it, but it would mean that he knows not only that his sister married Ramsay, but that she's in Winterfell, not so far from where Jon is. And I don't know the implications of this one, but I definitely think that we're going to get to see his frustration from this. And from, by the way, Jon stabbing. I said in my For the Watch video that there are a few new werewolf trees that wildlings carve. Exactly one of them is where Jon is stabbed. So I think he's going to see that as well. Tony?
I think that maybe we may hear Brand's voice. I mean, they said we wouldn't see him. Didn't mean we couldn't hear him. He could speak to Theon. Theon may hear him calling him this season, and I would love to see it. I just wish they would just, they got all this special effects money. Put a little bit in that weirwood tree face and just make it look like Bran. Why couldn't you just do that during that scene? Just that one little thing right there would have made that so great, And I wish they would have did that. I really do. And they have a lot of CG money. They could have did it, and they should have did it. All right.
Well, they can still have that what you just said with the tree that looked a little bit like Bran, with Theon walking around Winterfell, and he's really paranoid and not for nothing, and that's a bit funny.
Indeed. So this is from Victor Ortiz. I'll read this one real quick. It says, I am concerned about Team Stannis. Where do you think they're taking their storyline, and how do you think it will end for them this season? I agree with you, brother. It's either going to end good or it's going to end bad. There's no in-between for Stannis this season. I'll tell you that right now. And that's all I'm really going to say about it. Bar?
I think they might do the same as the Pink Letter. I subscribe to Tony's theory, and they might have everybody think that he is dead. Next question is from... Which one is this, Tony? From
I have it up. Right here, I have it up. Sorry, it took a second. I had to find it.
I still can't see it. Just tell me the name, and I'll read.
It's from Hiking Through with Steffi.
All right. Scrolling. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, app. Does the rape change until I scroll down? It's up. Does the rape change any of the ideas on the Winds of Winter? If Stannis, his Sansa, is in Winterfell, do you think his tactics will change? Have the Tyrells become too strong since the absence? Okay, but let's start with the first one. I will not remember the first one.
How about you do the first one, I'll do the middle, and you do the last.
Fantastic. Well, maybe that means that Sansa does lose her virginity in the Winds of Winter. However, I do not think it is. Tony, you do the next one.
I do not think that Stannis, if he hears that Stannis will change his tactics. I think his tactics, he knows what he's going to do. I think he has a pretty good plan to get in there with the secret tunnels of Winterfell.
All right, and the third, have the Tyrells become too strong since the absence of the Ironborns, for they have yet to receive no damning losses? I think they suffered a lot of losses this series. That's why Olenna is there. I don't know if Marjorie is going to come and yell at Cersei, 1,000 ships? Right, it was 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they might just skip it. I think they're going to skip the whole Ironborn thing, and I think the Tyrells have suffered a lot of losses. Loras, Marjorie, and now they're trying to kill Mace. So they're not doing too well right now. Okay, so next one is from Jamal Ramon. What do you think would happen if Sansa saw Marjorie again? Sansa... Sorry, Tony, could you make sense of the sentence? Maybe it's
what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if Sansa saw Marjorie again? Sansa with the North at her back and Marjorie being kind of a Lannister. So basically, would Sansa and Marjorie have beef if Sansa held down the North and Marjorie was holding down King's Landing? Would they be at each other's throats?
I think that if women were ruling, everything would be fine and peaceful. They would get together, everything will be okay. Let's talk about other stuff than wars. Tony?
Marjorie always seemed like she was wanted Sansa in her family, so I don't see no reason for them to beef at all. I think they'd be down with each other. And
Absolutely.
so this question is from Ray West, and he says, I think the faith is going to turn on Cersei at any moment now. I hope it is the Queen of Thorns who does it. Is there any way to tell whose children they are? Any methods of reference to anywhere? Or could anyone besides Cersei who could possibly know for sure, even though?
Hmm.
Uh,
Good.
yeah, go ahead, Bar, take it away.
I'm thinking maybe Olenna could somehow influence Lancel to testify against Cersei. That's a possibility. Tony?
Yeah, I think that the faith will turn on Cersei. I think that's a given. What's going to happen this season, without a doubt. And as for the rest part, I have no idea. Anything's possible.
All right, Grim Daddy Dog. Do you think Sansa will kill Ramsay and Roose? Or Theon will help her escape Winterfell? I don't think she's gonna kill any of them, but all I'm thinking about, like, why doesn't she go ahead and poison them at dinner or something? She could just assassinate them in ways that not just slit in their throats, but to get off unharmed by it. But yeah, Tony, do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't think they're gonna. I mean, that would be great if they had Sansa kill somebody. I thought that when she went into the kennels with the dog, that she had a knife in her sleeve. I think that's what she was holding on to, as a knife in her sleeve when she walked in there. So if that's the case, maybe that's a little foreshadowing that she will do something. But I don't think she's gonna kill them. I don't think it goes out that way for her at all. This is Don the Kraken Witt posted this for Sir L.T. Giles, and he asked, "Do either of you believe Arya will walk in any capability this season, capacity this season? Nymeria, cat, or person?" Bar, you can answer that first.
I wish they would. I'm starting to lose hope on that. They could have done it with the cat in Bravos. They could have had just, a camera at some other place where you see a cat and then it flashes from Arya to like fighting with the kindly man and to the cat, just to flash like that. They could have done Nymeria somewhere. The whole storyline with Nymeria is quite fascinating. Everybody's talking about her. Everybody notices that there is a super PAC, but they just don't do it on the show. I'm quite disappointed by that. I think they might, but I'm really losing hope on that one. Tony?
I do not believe it will go down whatsoever with the warging. I think that we're going to get John. I think next year, and we got to be happy with that. I don't know. I think that they rushed right through this whole thing with Arya so fast that I just don't know if they'll have the time to do it.
Yeah. Okay, Biotic Flux asks, I think Sansa will get control of Reeker Theon and have him light the candle in the tower. Brienne will rescue them and they'll all wind up in Stannis' camp afterwards. Any thoughts? It's a really good prediction. I don't know who's going to put that candle in the tower, but like I said last week on episode 7 last series, somebody almost pushed Sansa away, so maybe it's going to be something similar, and there might be something going on in that tower. Besides lighting a candle, those things never go well. Tony, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know who's going to light the candle in the tower. I think it's going to be the old lady. If it's anybody, she's going to light the tower. But the candle. But I said from the beginning, and I'll say right now, I always thought that Brienne could play the Moore's Umber role and be the one to capture them. Should be outside digging ditches, digging holes with Podrick, and some people will fall into the holes. She'll be blowing the horn out there, making distraction for them, and she will capture Theon and them, and then bring him to Stannis' camp. That's what I've always said. That's what I still believe is going to happen. All right. Next question is from Halfman Targ, and he says, Episode 9 is called The Dance of Dragons. Do you think this is the Denzaki pit? And if so, do you think we will see Dany again after she rides away on Drogon? Or do you think they will leave this as a cliffhanger? Bar?
I'm gonna say that the show can end in two ways. I think it's gonna be the stabbing in either case, but I think that Dany's gonna fly on Drogon. I think they're gonna leave that. But what is left is releasing the other two. I don't know if they're gonna do it this series or not, but that could be another way to like show that like maybe everything fell apart, but there is still hope for next series, at least with Dany. What do you think about that, Tony?
Yeah,
Do you think the dragons will be released?
Yeah, I think they have to. I think if episode 9 is called The Dance of Dragons, if that is the case, that would be great if they did that then. Then you would have the last episode to do the whole Jon situation and resurrection then. So that does make a lot of sense. But if it is that, if that's when we will see the whole situation with Dany flying away, and I don't think we'll see her at the end. I think that'll be it. If she flies away in the dragon, that to me is not really a cliffhanger. You know, a cliffhanger to me is really when someone's in a situation and you want to see how they get out of this situation. So I don't know how much of a cliffhanger it would be, but I think this should be just gone.
Well, I'm just going to say, because he did mention that it's episode 9, and I think that the titles are coming a week delayed. And so I'm going to think that the cliffhanger is on episode 10 either way, and the Dance of the Dragons could be metaphorical for Jon as well, for what's going to happen to him. Okay, the next one is from Anne Sweet. Do you think, you should check out her channel. Loved her latest videos. Do you think we'll see Asha or Yara this season? I'm going to say yes. I think I've seen a picture of a pretty reliable source that shows she will be on this series and maybe captured by Stannis on his way to Winterfell.
Yeah, I heard that she's in this episode coming up. So that's what I heard that she was going to be in. So we'll see. So I do believe, yes, we definitely will see her this season. And it's a good thing. I hope that we do see her this season. We should have the Greyjoys. I think they need to continue putting them in there because they are important in the books. And you should, especially with all this Theon stuff. I think you have to, which helps Stannis out if he does have to capture because they have to be reunited with a brother. So that helps out my man. So I'm hoping for that. I see Spots ask, any thoughts on how Brienne will come into play in the Ramsay Sansa situation? I gave my thoughts on that already. So, Bar, if you have anything else different to add to it.
No, I think I love that theory about Brienne being Crowfoot Umber. I think it's brilliant. And yeah. What is the next one? Okay, Emma Sky. It's good. Let's do just people that haven't been answered because there are quite a few and we're coming around to an hour. I think pretty close.
All right.
Still didn't ring, but let's go there. Okay. Hey, Tony and Val, love you both. I love you too. My question for you both is, do you think there will be still an Aegon replacement on the show, Trystane being the replacement? Yeah, I kind of answered that in the beginning of the Q&A. Also, will you avoid set leaks spoilers for season 6 and 7 since it will pass the books? No, I'm going to stay on point for season 6. If I'll be spoiled about some things, I'll be spoiled about some things. I think that the internet you cannot be sheltered from spoilers. So I'm going to watch it because I'd rather be spoiled by the show than by people. Tony?
I'm watching. I'm reading. I'm watching. That's it. I'm not worried about getting spoiled about nothing at all. I'm just watching and I'm reading everything, and that's just the bottom line. So that's just the way I get down. I'm trying to find people whose names don't look familiar. Everyone's does.
Edward Burns asked, earlier this year, the actor of Theon mentioned that he would be the second most hated character and Ramsay the first. What do you think Theon will do to make him hated? I think that a lot of show watchers that don't get Theon's flaying and all the torture he's gone through, they don't understand why he doesn't do anything when he watches Sansa be kind of tortured as well, maybe on another scale, but they were really frustrated with him about why he didn't do anything. But I kind of disagree with that. I think he's gone through so much. He is so afraid that he just can't bring himself to do it. Tony?
Yeah, I think that not showing the torturing takes a lot away from his character. I mean, the guy's only supposed to have 3 fingers on one hand, you know, and they don't. So when you this and no teeth in his mouth and anything else, so they haven't shown him eating rats or anything like that, or attempting to eat rats. So it's hard to take away a lot from his character. I'll try to get this one in real quick. Ray West says, did anyone notice in the preview the shadow of the dragon over the non-covered snow rooftops on King's Landing? I did not notice that at all. Did you notice anything like that?
Yeah, I thought it was just kind of a flashback from the time of Balerion. I didn't think it was necessarily Drogon. I don't think we're going to see it, but maybe. I mean, it would be lovely to see him fly over Westeros, but I don't think he goes that far. That's going to scare a lot of people. You know, people in King's Landing are like, oh no, that's just rumors, so that might change their mind. Okay, Nora L. Angari. How will Littlefinger convince Cersei to keep Sansa alive if that's the plan? I don't know if he'll have to, but he kind of did before by manipulating her. And also from this episode, have you any thoughts on Littlefinger's endgame and changed at all? I think we kind of talked about that. Tony, do you have anything to add?
I really don't have anything. I think it's just like that. He's hedging his bets. He's trying to see which side it's gonna end on. He's just trying to fall in the middle. That's it.
Yeah.
Bill B says, "Will we ever find out what Pod and Rod did to those girls?"
That's a good question. Probably not, but it's interesting to speculate. Okay, let's see. A new question. Steve Malone, do you think the show has rushed through book 4 and 5? No, I actually don't, because a lot of book 4, I'm actually rereading book 4 and 5 together, and whenever I get stuck on a chapter, which is usually on book 4, I go and read another book and come back to it. So it's always on the 4th one. So I don't blame them for rushing as much as they did.
Yeah, I like the Feast Staffs combination, and if anyone hasn't done it, I advise doing it on the audio book. It's very easy to do it that way if you ever wanted to do it. Tumco26 says, we know that the others will appear at some point this season. What are your ideas of when they will appear? I think it's at Harholm. I think we see the fist that comes through the gate. I think that is the other fist that comes through the gate. So I think that is the appearance that happens there. Bar, do you have anything?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Let's do a couple more questions. Todd Plantagenet. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. Do you know, Tony?
No, I do not know.
What do you guys think have as being the final scene or moment in the show or the book? For me, it's unlikely as it may be Jon in the Iron Throne. Oh, that's like an endgame. I'm going to say I don't talk about endgames because it's too soon. Maybe after the Winds of Winter I'm going to do that, but not at the moment. Tony?
All right, I will skip no endgames at the particular time. You heard Bar. All right, so we'll do the next question. That is from Emilia Hendricks. I don't know the last name. I can't say that. What will be... There you go, Graf Shaft. Be good with that. What will be the storyline in Old Town if not covered on the Greyjoy attack? I think it would just be Sam and the Citadel. I think that's the only thing I could see them doing at all. So if they were going to do anything there.
Well, possibly Gilly's going to join, and maybe they're going to do the Alchemist storyline with the face that Jaqen turned into way back in the past. Okay, Tony, do you have any more new questions?
I do not think we have any different people questions. I think we have hit them all. We got one from Ann Sweet, who says, Tony, when are you going to spend more time with us on Twitter? Well, I will try my best to spend as much time as I can with you on Twitter. I just don't have it on my phone because I have to just draw the line somewhere. So that's the one I don't put on my phone. So I'm only get a chance to do it when I'm home. So that's the only reason why
Right.
I'm not on as much. Oh wait, this person I don't think has. Yeah, good. This is a good question. I guess we could do this one. You see
Okay.
it?
Yeah. When will Balon Greyjoy die in the show, and maybe Dany rides and Drogon to check out Westeros in the end of episode 10? You can take that, Tony.
I think that would be perfect if they did do Balon to die. It would, now that they introduced the Faceless Man. I think maybe it would be Arya sent out to kill him. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that next season. But I don't know if they'll do it this season. But now that they have shown more on the Faceless Man, I think that is a good time now to have him die.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony Vasquez. I think he didn't get an answer. Only Sansa that can unite the North, Vale, Riverlands, and the Tyrells. Yeah, that's a good possibility. She does have connections everywhere. She does have an enormous amount of power if she would learn how to use it. But right now, she can't do really anything at this point, Tony.
Yeah, it's like I said, if she's going to be like Rocky, she can't keep taking a beating. At one point, it makes no sense. She has to rise. And since she's taking a beating from the beginning, it would make the most sense that she rises to the highest spot in the end. That's the way I feel about Sansa's character.
Okay. Well, we're supposed to wrap it up, but let's do one more from Aileen Acosta. Do you think Jorah will die in the fighting pits, and will we be seeing Penny? I don't think we're going to see Penny. I think Jorah is going to be in the fighting pits, and that's what's going to make Daenerys want to stop everything and create chaos. Tony, any thoughts?
I don't think he'll die in the fighting pits at all, too. I think he'll survive the fighting pits. I think he's going to take over on the army side with Tyrion. When Daenerys flies away, it'll be those two in control, kind of. We'll be seeing how him and Tyrion are getting along. I think we're going to get the poison locust this season. I think it happens. I think that's what's going to happen, and Daenerys is going to fly off. So as Bar said, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for everyone watching this, and I'm going to let Bar tell you exactly where you can find her and all her channel and everything else to get in contact with her.
All right, thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. You can find me on BarTube on Facebook and Twitter as well. And yeah, you should check out my channel and thumbs up this video, and we'll see you next week on my channel. Tony?
Yes, next week, T&B Q&A for the next episode will be on Bar's channel, so make sure that you subscribe to both of our channels so you do not miss it and miss anything. So leave any questions you have, and I'm sure Bar will be on this channel popping on here and there, and she will be there to answer any comments. So leave your questions, your comments, and thumbs up this and like this. And once again, thank you for taking the time out your day to watch us. Until next time, peace and stay sexy.